All right, so this is the crucial capsule. Really, it's the foundation for managing your task and follow-up. So pay attention. That should be followed diligently by everyone. It will help you change the way you use Outlook, literally. Okay, so we're gonna start from the basic task that you have by default and transform it into a really powerful follow-up tool. So we're in the calendar view. That should be what you see usually. So write the day or work week or whatever. If you're not in the calendar, just click here at the bottom, right? Once you're there, what you want to do is go to View, and you want to go to the to-do bar here. And when you click here, you will go to Task. Now, if you have 2010 and before, it might show up different, especially 2007 version. So otherwise, this is usually the way you're gonna see it, and you're gonna have a little zone like this, which is cute. It works, but it's not that great, and you're not able to reorganize that with a lot of precision. And by the way, the same tasks show up if you go here in the task view at the bottom. So if I click here, the task that showed up earlier are the same that shows up here, right? So it's the same task. It's just that they are actually inside your dashboard with your calendar, okay? So we're gonna reorganize them and make sure that they are really well, structured. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna expand that zone, okay? So once you expand, you will normally see the columns show up. Now you see, oh, I need to go much further, which is a bit too much. It takes, 60%, 70% of the visual. I want to keep some space for my calendar. So just make sure, okay, that if you're locked here, or by the way, if you have a laptop with 15 inches, you're going to have an issue here. You're not going to see the columns. So we're going to see how to reorganize that. So what you do is you right click here. It's very important to do that on the top menu here and go on View Settings. So that's going to be the view settings of the task itself. But if you go anywhere else, that's going to be the view settings of the calendar, right? Because you could change the view setting of the calendar. So basically what I do here is I go here on columns, and then I reorganize, and I'm going to show you which columns I invite you to use. Right? Okay, so really easy. The first thing is you want to remove everything, right? So you click remove the whole thing. So that's the list that's available here on the left, and this is what you choose and what you want in the visual. Okay, now all of these steps I'm going to explain. That capsules will be a bit longer, so don't hesitate, press pause and follow me all the way through, because it's really important. Or you just listen to it once and then redo it with me again inside your own view. So what you want first is to make sure that you had the view in folder here. Perfect. So when you do that, I'm going to explain a bit further why I'm doing this. For right now, just follow my lead. And then what you do is you want to select the available columns here, and you want to click and go and select here the frequently used fields. Excellent. So now I'm gonna have, I'm gonna add a bunch here. I'm gonna add categories. I'm gonna have complete, icon, priority, start date, subject, and that's it. So it's a total of 7. And then I'm just gonna reorganize them. So I'm gonna take icon and put it on top. Then I'm gonna put priority on the second, and I'm gonna put subject, start date, in folder, incomplete, and categories, after the end here. So basically what that does, it's creating the list of columns that I want to see. Now, as we saw earlier, you may not even see any columns at all. So you need to change some stuff here. And then to do that, you're going to click on other setting right after. So you click here, and you want to make sure that use compact layout in width smaller than, and you're going to change that to 50. That's going to work. Now there's another, two other stuff that you need to do. So the first one, you want to click on filter. So why? Because you want to make sure that when you see the task, you don't see too much in the future. Meaning that if so let me give an example. I'm going to actually show you directly inside. So right now, I finished my first step in creating my dashboard. Now, don't do that yet because we're going to go back to the menu. We still have some stuff to do. But the first part to understand is, let's say I need to write report to upper management. And that report needs to be done, and I'm going to start it, not until the 20th, right? So by doing this, this will show up later this month. And if I create, for example, the year review, and that's something that I'm going to take care in January next year, like that. Well, that's not interesting because, I want to take care of this on January 6th, 2020. Why would I see that every day? That's pretty, annoying. So that's why we want to create a filter so we don't actually see the things too much in advance. Another thing is, if I put a date that is prior like this, so let's say all Rogers should have been, done later this week or previously this week, it's going to show up red because I'm late, right? So these are the basics. Now if we go back to the view settings and click on filter, this is where you should be. If not, just go back and just make sure that you're with me now and you go to advanced. So these first two items are very, very important. You leave it there. This allows you, when you complete a task, that it will not show up in this list anymore. It will accumulate somewhere else. You have it will keep the information alive. But that part here is really important. You see date complete, flag completed, and then what you want to add a few criteria. So the first one, you go to frequently used field and go and select start date. Great. Once you do that, you go on condition and you're going to say, and that depends. That's up to you. Some people will take in the next 7 days. So it will always keep fresh of the next 7 days of task ahead, which is a good option. In my case, what I do is I use everything this week. So the difference is when I arrive on Thursday and Friday, if I want the week to end, of course, on Friday, it will reduce the list of tasks as I progress, which is very encouraging for people. And when I arrive on Monday, I have a clear view, okay? So we're going to see, a couple of options in the next few capsules are when we're going to go deeper in the task. So don't worry too much right now. Just make sure you activate this start date this week or next 7 days and you add to list. Now, the next thing we want to do is, because we're only having this week, everything that's late, it's not going to show up, right? So if I go and check, you see, I remember I had a task which was red, calling Rogers. Now, because I put a flag, now I will not see everything that's in the past, in the future, I mean. And then if I take, let's say, call Linda, and I should have called her the week before, now it's not going to show up anymore, right? So it will only limit it for this week, which is not good, because if I had something to do last week, I still need to see that, right? So you go here again in the filter, let me go back, and then we go again in frequently used field, dates, start date, and then what you're going to select here is almost at the end. It's called on or before, and the value you write today. Great. So now anything that's late, you will see it. Everything it's this week, you'll see it. But everything that's in the future, you won't. So if you have 300 tasks you need to do in the next quarter, but only 60 today or this week, you're going to see those only, which is going to be amazing to help you focus on what's important. And the last one you want to add is the same thing, frequently used field, start date. And what you want to do here in this case is you want to put everything that also when you create a task with no particular dates. So if there's no dates, you still want to see that task. So this is, a sort of a task which is, living up in the sky. You're not sure when you're going to start it. You just want to leave it there, like in the parking lot. That would be, really a good way to do it. But these filters will help you a lot to visually have something which is really rock solid. And we're going to see in the module of the task management, the in-depth management of that. So don't worry. Now you see that, you say, oh my God, I'm not sure I'm going to use that for now. That portion will cover that in total. Now, if I click here, okay. And the last thing I want to do, right, is I want to format columns. So instead of having these dates in this format, you're going to go in the start date and select here this in the drop down menu, this format. And you can center it if you want in the alignment. So that will create something that looks like this. So now I'm going to be able to see my task. If I have to do something tomorrow, I can say call Frank, and then just go on my start date here, click and select for tomorrow on the 5th. And now automatically you see it will show up tomorrow, and that's about it. It's really a great first step in taking control over your follow-ups. I hope you're going to take the time and put this in place and start practicing it. It's really amazing. I encourage you to do that, and I invite you also to continue with the other capsules, because we're going to see so much more within this dynamic. Okay, so thanks for watching and see you there.